Hello and welcome back to this Down Idealistic Crusade. This video is going to be fun. I was sent a wonderful mystery box package that I have not yet opened from a friend of this channel overseas who wishes to remain anonymous. So this will be a international mystery box, and of course has the fun UK info. So in any case, I have no clue what is inside here. So let's get to opening this guy and seeing what's in here. So handy box cutter, of course. Got some good old air pockets. Let's see what fun is in here. Oh wow, this feels like a lot of stuff in here. Let's see. Oh wow. All right, so what do we got? Let's see. Oh wow. So I now have the BFI Phantom of the Opera set that I really wanted to import and review. Thank you so much for this. I will do a full review of this to go along with the Kino one. I've been wanting to get this for ages, and now, especially since I did the Kino, it all started because I reviewed the Hunchback of Notre Dame 4K restoration that they put out from Universal, and then that got me to do the Phantom Blu-ray because they had it on sale, and so that got me thinking about Phantom again, and so I've been really wanting to get this, and this is really beautiful art. I mean, I knew this was the cover, but having it in your hand, and you can definitely feel the heft and weight of this, but I'm most excited on the, this is supposed to have the 1925 original version in an actual HD presentation, unlike the Kino that was standard definition upscaled. Get this guy open. Easier said than done, of course. Well, gotta try and save the BFI sticker. Save it. See, the smart thing would have been to use the box cutter, but you know, I didn't think about that. Try and save you, BFI sticker. I'll save you, 'cause I am a nerd. It's what I do. So try not to risk life and limb for trying to save the sticker. So of course, I saved the sticker. Now we can see what this looks like up close. So of course, here is the art again. Really like the image choice. Oh wow, this is a really hefty release because it has everything on the standard Blu-ray, but the rest of the contents are fully replicated on two PAL Region 2 DVDs. I must admit the black and white art on the actual disc labels looks really impressive, so I think that's a nice touch. Oh, wow, and then the booklet itself is quite hefty. So there are several essays, the main one being by Kevin Brownlow, who of course produced the photoplay restoration this release uses, along with some information about the versions, and then the 1925 version, and then also details about the extras, the Lon Chaney documentary, and then most importantly, the transfer notes. So I will be diving into this as soon as possible because I've been wanting to look at this disc for a long time. This is a beautiful surprise, so thank you so much for this, and now I can make the companion piece to my Kino review by doing the BFI release of the photoplay restoration of Phantom of the Opera. So these are all bubble wraps, so I'm not quite sure until I start taking off what's going to be in here next, but let's see. So I'm feeling something very boxed. Oh my goodness, wow. So this is I believe this is medium rare, but it's in the deluxe box that Arrow usually uses, but this is a deluxe box release of the film Waterloo, which I have not seen in ages, and this doesn't really have, as far as I know, this should be the overall most stuffed release in terms of extras. Which this does apparently have quite a bit. Multiple soundtracks, including the original stereo track and a 5.1 mix, isolated music and effects track, new 30-minute documentary, a new commentary. Oh my gosh. Wow, this is a stuffed release. And again, it's in the same sort of hard box case manner that you see on the lovely Arrow discs that use this same type of box. I don't know what you call these, but I really love these hard case boxes. So, of course, you have the case itself. This is really nice art, I have to admit. Of course, this film is most well known, I think, for being not such a great financial success and really putting the axe forever on Kubrick's planned Napoleon film, since this film, just completely, totally bombed. But this is a wonderful package, reversible original art on the sleeve there. Just a single BD50 disc, but this thing is pretty well loaded with extras. And like most Arrow releases, this does have some really nice art cards, so you get lobby card reproductions. I've been wanting to revisit this film for a very long time, since it has such a phenomenal cast, and even though a lot of people will know this film for it being the film that, again, sort of torpedoed Kubrick's Napoleon film, in terms of production scale, I mean, no one makes things like this anymore, and it was a bit mad at the time. And I did read Christopher Plummer's autobiography, where he talked about the making of this film and how miserable everyone was. So it was an interesting bonding experience. So I've really been wanting to rewatch this ever since I read his autobiography a year or two ago. So this looks like a wonderful way to do that. And then also includes an entire fold-out poster of this lovely new artwork. So here is the new art, and then on the reverse, you get a quad version of one of the original posters. I had to look for a second, because this seems just like an Arrow release, like, say, their Major Dundee box, but again, it is in fact medium rare. Oh, whoops, I forgot one of the lobby cards. And these are all double-sided, which is interesting. And then the booklet, which is wonderfully printed, just like an Arrow or Indicator booklet, is actually a reproduction of the original souvenir program, actually 100%. So it doesn't have any new essays, but this is, again, just a complete reproduction of the original 1970 souvenir program from the premiere engagements. Wonderfully done, nice color and detail, and I'm an absolute nut for things like this. This has been on my wish list, but I had totally forgotten about it, if honest. And of course, there isn't really a great US release of this film, at least on Blu-ray. Before this, as far as I'm aware, the video release history was kind of spotty at best. But in terms of the extras, just so I can read all of them off if you aren't aware of what this carries. Again, two different mixes of the film, stereo, I guess, Prologic encoded maybe, or I don't know, maybe it is just plain stereo. Then a 5.1 mix, isolated music and effects, new documentary, new audio commentary, then some additional featurettes, including some modern 2015 reenactment footage of the battle, the reproduction of the original souvenir program, the reversible poster featuring the new and vintage art, the lobby card reproductions, and it also includes the original trailer as well. So this is a gorgeous looking release. I can't wait to dive into this. And again, this has been a film that's been on my I really need to rewatch list for a long time. And I just find the whole concept of doing historical war films fascinating. It's something that doesn't really get done to a great degree anymore, and certainly not where they are just going for broke in terms of scope and scale. And this was a large international production with a large international cast, along with Dino De Laurentiis producing. So this is a huge film that it's not for everybody, but it kind of has something for everybody at the same time, if that makes any sense. And it's one of those films you should see at least once if you love historical films or big roadshow films or the type of event films that they just don't make anymore. And also it's a must-see for Kubrick fans because it gives you this sort of time capsule landscape of what historical films were like in the late 60s, early 70s. And since we never got to see Kubrick's Napoleon, since this is the film that the failure of this film torpedoed that, as I said, you can kind of sort of see what the equivalent early 70s Napoleon film on a big scale would be like. And of course, that led to Kubrick going and making Barry Lyndon instead. But when you look at Waterloo, you can sort of get at least a time capsule sense of maybe some of what Kubrick's Napoleon could have been like. So that's another reason why this film is important and really interesting to look at. It's very fascinating when you look at this because you can look at it from a variety of angles. And there are fans of this film. There are people who think it's terrible. So it's kind of all over the map. But I think it has a little something for everybody. So then we get to the third package, and this also feels like it's, you know, a pretty sturdy box in here. So let's get this plastic wrap off. Oh, no way. Oh, no way. Oh, my goodness. Wow. I cannot say thank you enough. So this is the big Ultra Deluxe 4K Studio Canal box of Flash Gordon, and I am such a huge fanatic for this film. I think this film is an absolute masterpiece that I couldn't wait, and I've got it right here. But of course, I got the Arrow limited release over here in the US, which is what we got as the equivalent to this big guy. But my goodness, I never thought I would get one of these. Of course, you had to import these, and they kind of sold out pretty quick, and of course it wound up being a lot more cost effective for me to grab the Arrow, and also the Arrow special features have a couple extra featurettes that the Studio Canal box didn't have. So but my goodness, like these, you know, the Arrow has great art, but wow, I can't believe I have both of these now. I feel more Flash complete now. My goodness, I did not expect anything like this to be in here. So this is a wonderful surprise. So again, this is the 4K Complete Deluxe Studio Canal UK European package. It's packaged in a hard slip box. And what's also nice, it has this sort of foil effect on all sides, which is really impressive and feels very high quality. So this definitely compares very favorably to the Deluxe Arrow box I have. But again, it's just got that beautiful foil effect. So then you slip out the actual, I guess this would be just a digipack, but it is quite thick. So you have Princess Aura here on the front, and then around on the back you have Ming when he's confronting Flash and the sort of temptation scene. And then this is quite thick, so it is a very stuffed fold out. And it looks like the inserts are sort of tucked in here as well. So there you have a shot of what looks like Kaleidos there. So I slid the inserts out so you can see this is a massive fold out, because this goes onto many more discs than what you get in the US release. So you have the UHD disc, then you have the feature Blu-ray, try and get some of the glare off, then you have the main extras Blu-ray, and then Blu-ray 2 has the Life After Flash documentary, which is the great sort of combination making of the film, and then also it's a documentary on Sam Jones before, during, and after the film Flash Gordon. And then the final disc is the Queen soundtrack on the CD remaster. Unfortunately, this doesn't have the second disc of the expanded remaster that has one or two demos and the single mix, but of course, being a giant nerd for the film, I already have that 2 CD set anyway. But it's great to have at least the Queen score included in some shape or fashion on this. So each panel under the disc has the main characters from Flash and Dale and Zarkov and Ming, and then Baron, everybody's favorite at the end. I will do I've been wanting to do a review of the Arrow release anyway, because I'm such a big fan of this film, and since I started doing Blu-ray reviews, I wanted to go back and do some favorites and some other discs I feel I could do a good video on. So now I will definitely do a double review of the Studio Canal set and the Arrow release. And then you come to all the wonderful printed extras that, again, are slotted inside the digibook. So you get a full-on collector's booklet. This has everything from some essay pieces and photos to then a full-on Q&A with Mike Hodges, who I find fascinating always. So This should be a wonderful read. Then it also reproduces the original exhibitor's campaign book for all of the ad and press materials, which is a great touch. Then you get this wonderful exclusive mini reproduction or excerpt of the Titan making up book that I've been meaning to get. So this is a wonderfully printed book, and this has the Alex Ross art that was done for the, I believe it's the 2007 Universal DVD here in the U.S. So it's wonderful getting it printed like this. It's a great painting by Alex Ross. And then on the inside, this is more of just there's not really a lot of text. There are some quotes, but this is more of a great photo souvenir guide. Again, these are all in the making of book, so this is basically just a taster for that, but it's wonderfully printed. So this is a nice piece to have in here. Again, I really need to get that book. I've been meaning to, but it's, like most film books, it is a little pricey, so it's just been sitting on my wish list. But this is a really cool thing to have, the sort of mini version of that included in the set here. And of course, there is a small ad for the Queen online store. And then on the reverse, I didn't realize this was a thing, but there is not only a Flash figure, but also a Flash reproduction lunchbox that does look so wonderfully awesome that you wish you had it as a kid. Then there are some wonderful reproduction poster cards. So here is a version of the UK quad, along with some other alternates. Now, this one seems to be going very much for the Star Wars Style D poster. This one goes for much more of a fantasy or Conan vibe, I would say. Then this one definitely looks like a French poster variant. I like the blue and green. That's an interesting touch. This is a film I think it's probably impossible to have a bad poster for. Then in one of those little swag touches that's probably not necessary at all, but boy, is it freaking cool. You get a little Flash patch to put on your jacket or whatever item of clothing you want to. Though, of course, being a collector and a nerd, I couldn't see myself actually using this other than pulling it out of the box and going, hey, this is so freaking cool. Then in another really nice touch, they include a booklet that actually gives you some of the original Alex Raymond newspaper strips, and it looks like this is the whole first initial Flash appearance, because it's Flash and Dale on the plane and then getting to Mongo and confronting Ming for the first time. I have read a number of the original Flash strips. I haven't read all of them, but there are some really great collections out there. So I've read the first volume or two of some of those, and I really want to read the rest of them. But if you've never seen the original Alex Raymond Flash strips, they are works of beauty. There's a reason why Flash became iconic pretty much as soon as the strip started in the 1930s. And to be honest, these really all belong in an art museum because they are so gloriously larger than life and full color and everything. So these actually do a pretty decent job. The panels are a bit small, and the printing is a little dark compared to the sort of cleaned up, restored versions that I've read in some of the collected volumes. But the quality is still rather nice, and you might have to squint a little tiny bit to read some of the text bubbles, but it's still perfectly fine and cleaned up enough, so it is a rather nice presentation. So yeah, you're getting basically the first 2 or 3 months of strips, and if you're ever curious about these, they pretty much end in a cliffhanger at the end of every single strip. So that's why the film perfectly replicates that sort of constant cliffhanger style. And then to complete the set, they include a wonderfully printed double-sided poster, first with the new art. And then on the reverse is the original UK quad art. So that is the Flash Gordon Studio Canal Ultra Deluxe 4K and Blu-ray combo box set. Just a complete, an utter delightful surprise in this box. So this has been an incredible mystery box. I cannot say thank you enough. I really wanted to get this, but I went with the Arrow instead, and then always wondered if I would ever be able to just even look at one of these up close here in the U.S. So this is a wonderful surprise, and I will be doing a review and do a review of both now the Studio Canal and the Arrow. They are pretty much very similar because they do have the same content, and they both use Studio Canal's 4K restoration and master and audio tracks. The only difference is, of course, the Studio Canal has a lot more fancy goodies and includes the CD soundtrack, whereas the Arrow has a couple more featurettes on its extra features disc, and you have to buy the UHD and the Blu-ray separately. They're not packaged together. So there are some quirks between the two releases, but the bulk of the materials are the same. But I will now do a review of both of these, and can't wait to talk more about Flash, which I absolutely adore. So that's it for this mystery box. These three incredible UK import titles that I did not expect at all. I'm amazed at the positive feedback I get on these videos I do here on this channel. I'm always amazed when I get a thumbs up or a comment or any sort of feedback. So I never expected to get mystery boxes and things. So this is so wonderful. This is so completely appreciated, and this is a wonderful surprise because especially since COVID happened, it's gotten much more difficult to import titles. We can't really import things from Amazon UK anymore, and then I never expected to even be able to see one of the Studio Canal Flash box sets. So this means a heck of a lot, and I will be doing as soon as time permits, I will be doing a full-scale review on all three of these, and can't wait to dig into these. So I'll probably start with Phantom since I just did the Kino, and I've been very curious to look at the BFI version anyway, and it's fresh on the brain. So I'll probably start with the wonderful BFI Phantom and then work through the other two. But in any case, that's all for this particular video. These wonderful items from this incredible UK mystery box that I received this week. So thanks ever so much for these wonderful items, and thank you ever so much for watching and for supporting this channel. And hopefully you found this entertaining, me opening a box of complete mystery to me titles. And again, I will try and get nice reviews of these done in my usual manner, my usual very talky manner, as soon as possible. So as always, thanks ever so much for watching.